Yeah, what's up? So we have another question. Today we have a question from
Brock! 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 Brock!
So Brock asks, "Hey Dan, just saw your video on the Icky second day. I have a question." He's referring to the last video in the Snake Diet Dan Insider group. He says, "I have a question. I have lost approximately 70 pounds. He went from 270 to 200 in 5 months or so. Good job, man. After I hit the 200, I have been finding it difficult to do any prolonged fasts. Why do you think that this is?" Let's break that down. Before I could do 4 to 6 day fast, no problem. Now, not so much. I feel like mentally before was much easier. Thanks for your time and hope others may get value from this question as well. I hope so, man, because a lot of people run into this problem, you know. And then he goes on to say, "Thanks, brother. God bless. People like you and Cole and all the other snakers have saved my life, helped get rid of all my body pain from being a fat ass, and more energy to enjoy with my kids." Well, I'm glad things are going good for you so far, Brock. Let's take a look at what we can do to get you fixed up here. But let's look at the problem at hand first. All right, so I'm gonna draw you guys a masterpiece here. We're gonna start with 270, Brock. And I know my printing is great. Wait until you see my drawing. It is amazing. So here's Brock. At 270, you got a big old gut on him. Maybe some bitch titties. Some uneven bitch titties. Basically, he looks like Randy from the Trailer Park Boys. Okay? Now, I don't know what Brock looks like in real life. This is just for fun, okay? To explain things. Brock did some fasting, and now he's 200-pound Brock. Boom. So he's probably been following the snake diet, maybe following my page a bit, put on a little bit of muscle, maybe did some steroids. Not really, but it looks like he did in the picture because he's all jacked up now, but he's still got a bit of a gut. He's got some, instead of the hanging girl titties, got some gorilla titties going on. A little muscle on his legs. Little tree stump legs like me. You guys get the point. Okay? So, Brock was fasting his dick off when he was 270. And now he's down to 200. And he's stalled out. So why do you think that might be? Is it psychological? Is it physiological? Well, I'm here to tell you the mind is the body is the mind, and I'm going to explain it physiologically. Even though I'm not usually a science guy, I'm going to show you guys what is likely happening here. So, when Brock was 270, he had all these fat cells in his body, okay? Now, he still has them, but because they dumped out a bunch of triglycerides, that's releasing fat, okay, the cells actually shrunk. So this is the same cell cluster, but it's smaller now, okay? And when your fat cells shrink, the signaling to your brain is different because the circulating hormones change. So fat cells are basically an organ. They're not technically an organ, but they work exactly the same as a fucking organ, okay? They release hormones that signal the hypothalamus in the brain and tell the brain to do certain things, okay? So the hormone we're going to look at is leptin. So over here, when he was 270, Brock was pumping out a bunch of leptin. Capital leptin. And leptin if you're not familiar with that is kind of like a thermostat. It tells your brain when you're full, okay? Now, when you're really fat, you can get leptin resistant, just like you can get insulin resistant. But I don't think that was the case for Brock because he fasted his dick off no problem, okay? He would have had problems in the beginning if he was leptin resistant. Leptin resistance causes you to overeat like all the fucking time, and that's how people get to be like 500 plus pounds, right? So Brock was just overweight, you know. His leptin was still in check, and it helped him get down to 200 pounds. But now, he's only signaling a bit of leptin. He's only releasing a little bit of leptin from his fat cells, which is not signaling the brain that he is full. It's telling the brain that he needs more food. This kind of acts like a thermostat in your body. When leptin goes down, thyroid will also go down. Your whole metabolism goes down. It slows your metabolism. On top of that, there's another hormone called ghrelin that goes up. And what ghrelin does is it tells your body that you're hungry. That little brrr in your stomach, that's ghrelin. That's ghrelin saying, hey, motherfucker, put some food in here. Okay? So Brock is at what we call a set point. And all of these processes happen at a set point. If you don't know what a set point is, picture when you were in high school. Okay? You likely weren't dieting. If you grew up in my era, anyway, who knows, some of these younger kids, they have a lot of different problems than we do. But picture, when you were younger and not dieting and not controlling your calories and not thinking about your diet. You just ate what you like. And you kind of just maintained the similar size throughout the years, right? That might change when you hit puberty, but I'm saying in general, you probably stay about the same size. That's because everything is regulated through the leptin, through all these hormones are more prevalent in the younger generations, right? When you're younger, your body just works better. It hasn't taken as much of a beating. So you're stuck at that set point. For me, my body fat set point was above 20. It was definitely above 20%. I was a pretty chubby kid, okay? Now with exercise and all that stuff, I got it to come down over time. But that's where my body liked to be, and that's why it's harder for people like me to lose fat than people who are naturally skinny or ectomorphic, if you believe in some somatotypes. I don't necessarily believe in them as a theory, but it's a good way to explain what you're trying to convey, right? Ectomorph. It basically means you're skinny. You have a low body fat set point, right? So, what does Brock do now? How do we fix this for Brock? Let's take a look at that. All right, so the first thing we're going to look at here is, so I found out that Brock is just eating like shit on his refeeds, right? Pretty much said he's eating mostly McDonald's and all that shit. So the best method I would explain for him, and don't worry, I'll get to other methods for other people who are actually not doing this. But the best thing I think for Brock is to put down your purse method. Which means you got to get off the shit, okay? Yeah, technically, you might see the McSnake diet video where Cole got away with eating fucking McDonald's and shit. It was very targeted when he did it, and that guy has an iron fucking will that most people do not have, okay? So, put down your purse method means stop fucking around, basically. Start counting calories. Oh, but I wanted to do the snake diet so I didn't have to count calories. Yeah, well, you're going to have to start eating healthy at some point if you want to have a fucking optimal lifestyle, okay? The next thing is eat whole foods. Okay? I know, boring shit. I know. Fuck. Can't eat McDonald's. What's going on is, part of it is you're being hijacked by fucking highly satiating Franken foods. And so you're like hungry all the time now, right? Besides what we just reviewed, eating shit food is going to amplify that by fucking tenfold. So, get you on some fucking actual real foods. And I would say either start doing low carb or low fat. I think low carb works better with fasting. I think it works way better with fasting because you don't feel as hungry. You can get away with eating less calories on low carb without feeling like you're fucking starving. Okay? So you gotta switch up the diet, man. That's the biggest thing. Like, you can't just cheat your way to the finish line. Some people can get away with eating shit like that sometimes, but it's obviously not working right now. So you gotta fucking start. You gotta put on your big boy pants. You gotta start counting calories, eating grown up foods. McDonald's is for fucking kids and drunks, okay? You gotta start treating this like a real lifestyle, okay? And then I guarantee you're gonna drop weight from here. So when you drop weight from here, it's gonna lower your set point. Because there's all kinds of room for fucking improvement here. And so the next thing I would say is when you switch over your diet, when you switch over your refeeds, I wouldn't worry too much about cardio, but you want to make sure you're lifting weights for sure. You can save cardio for later. I don't mind some walking or whatever, some active recovery, but the cardio, the HIIT training, all that shit, you don't need it yet. You don't need it yet. You probably have a lot of weight to lose still. Okay? So you don't want to burn out all of your options. So let's take a look at what I would recommend for other people to do here. Yeah, so say you're actually dieting on this shit. You're doing some fasting, you're watching your calories, maybe you're doing some low carb, and you hit a real stall, like a real set point. And, you're stuck there, you're feeling hungry, and you're like, fuck, I don't know what happened, I'm losing it. Here's something you can do, okay? This is a method that I use from time to time. It's a little less aggressive than, what you could be doing. But if you have patience, it can work out real nice for you. So, you can do what I call a hangout phase. Right? And I think, we're going to put lean bulk in here too. They're slightly different, but I can explain both of them right here on this. In a hangout phase, you want to hit maintenance calories. Okay? And, to calculate your maintenance calories, use scale feedback. Okay? You can use other methods as well if you want to calculate online. Nothing works as good as the fucking scale, though. Really. If the fucking scale's not going up, you're not fucking gaining any weight. So scale feedback works perfectly. Right? Hit your maintenance calories every day. Keep it in a tight window. And I don't care if you're doing low carb, low fat, some kind of fucking percentage values. Just make sure you're getting high protein, okay? Make sure your protein is high on your diet. During the maintenance phase, you're going to want to lift. And like I said before, keep the cardio relatively low. Okay? Now, the lean bulk is going to look a lot like this. The same things are going to apply. You're going to eat maybe once a day, maybe twice a day with some IF. And you're just going to eat in a 200 surplus. $200 surplus, okay? So you want that extra 200 calories to come from protein. You don't want to get it from fat. You don't want to get it from carbs. The point of this is to lift, to actually do some volume, to do some heavy weights, to focus on building muscle without gaining any fat. Likely you will recomp a little bit here, okay? The benefit to this is your metabolism goes up. And if you hang out at a set point for a while, it gives your body time to normalize your hormones again so that you can get primed up for some fat burning, okay? We'll say good hormones. Also, it gives you a mental break from dieting. So you have that, I would even look at a 6-week period of this if you're really patient. Because it takes some time to build some muscle, okay? But if you're just going to do the maintenance, you can do it for like 2 weeks. If you're going to do the lean bulk, I would do it for like 6 weeks. Make sure you put some muscle on. If you're going to do the maintenance, you're going to want to hit maintenance calories about 4 days a week. And then actually go over your maintenance calories for 2 days a week. By about 600, I'd say about 600 calories. And then throw in one fasting day. Now with the lean bulk over here, I wouldn't worry about having different calorie counts on different days. But if your weight starts to creep up, you're gaining a little bit of fat, then you just fast for a day. Okay? And like I said, both of these methods, you kind of just fucking hang out there until your body is ready to burn some fat again. And then you get a little more aggressive with the fasting again, or you drop the calories, and you take a second run at going for your next goal. All right? And so the last thing I want to touch on, there's a million different ways you can do this, guys. There's a million different fucking ways we could break through a set point. And usually when I'm coaching somebody, I go by individual preference, right? If I think they're strong enough to hang out at a fucking maintenance phase, or they're patient enough to do a lean bulk, then we do that. If they want to try something else, we'll try something else. If you have a goal where you want to fucking get down, maybe you got a wedding coming or something like that, then you're going to have to get a little more aggressive. So we're going to go with the aggressive method. This is where you go full on, basically fucking starving yourself, okay? Starving yourself past that fucking set point. Because you're already doing a lot of stuff. You're already doing a lot to get there, right? And now you need to push the boundaries of what you've already been doing. It's really fucking hard when you're hungry, but It's one thing that you can do, and people with iron wills can do it and get through it. So you're going to up your cardio. Maybe not the intensity, because you're going to be doing a lot of fasting, but you want to up the time, the interval, the amount of cardio you are doing. Probably a steady state cardio. Okay? You're going to want to decrease your calories on the refeeds, right? If you're eating high carb, you want to drop the carbs. If you're eating high fat, you'll want to drop the fat. This is where you go into basically like a period of high protein, maybe moderate fat, low carb, or moderate carb, low fat, right? On the refeeds. That being said, you're going to increase the fasting times okay? And then you're just going to straight up force your fucking body past these set points. It's tough to do. Some people can do it. I can do it. Cole can do it. But it takes some knowledge coming on the other end so that you don't end up fucking binging, okay? But that's a whole other video. We would basically reverse diet from there, you know, once you get to your goal. So it's really simple stuff. You know, there's no way to cheat. If you're watching this video hoping I'm going to say like, you know, oh, just do this artificial sweetener to make things better, or take this pill that's going to speed things up. Nope. There's no way to cheat a bad fucking diet. Okay? The more resistance you offer your body, the more it's going to resist against that. So, like, when you fast fucking hard, that's why some people binge, because they get resistance. Their body tries to regulate, like that thermostat I talked about, and pushes in the other direction. Some people have the mental capacity and the willpower to push through that. Some people don't. Okay? So this aggressive method is for the fucking champs. But no matter what method you pick, I would say be honest with yourself, because the end result is what's important, not how quick you fucking get there. If you honestly can't push through and pull off an aggressive method like this, I would say hang out at the maintenance phase for at least 2 weeks, okay? Another thing to kickstart this aggressive method, if you want to give your body a temporary boost in leptin, you can have 2 high carb days in a row. I'm talking 2 fucking meals here. I'm not talking go binge for 2 days. And I'm not talking about processed carbs. I'm talking about maybe some rice, potatoes, sweet potato. I like the high glycemic index carbs for this. It will temporarily boost your leptin, right? So when you're dropping down and you hit a stall, you can boost your leptin up again and try to drop it down a little bit more. This way is the hardest way because you're going full on carbs and then you're trying to get off the carbs. Full on carbs, trying to get off the carbs. But it works. It all works. It's a matter of what's going to work for you. Okay? So I hope that helped you guys. A little mini masterclass. There's not a lot of information out there on set points and how to break through them. I've read pretty much all the research on this. It's not even a verified theory, you know. It's just a theory at this point. But everything I said about the leptin and the thyroid and everything, all of that holds true. And this has been the only known method to get past it. I think I have more experience with this than a lot of people. Not to get my Donald Trump impression going again, but I've been doing this a lot longer than a lot of motherfuckers, you know? There were set points when I was teaching them how to do bodybuilding diets. There were set points when I was teaching them how to do keto diets. There's set points with fasting. It's all about how you navigate it. So that's it, my people. If you have any questions about that, maybe which method you should use, you can slam me a DM on my Snake Diet Dan Insider group on Facebook, or my Snake Diet Dan business page on Facebook, or at Snake Diet Dan on Instagram, or drop some comments in my YouTubes. Ask me your questions. Try to help you guys out as much as possible, all right? So, on that note, I'll let you go. Enjoy the rest of your day. Love yous. Peace.